Welcome back, students. In this video, we're going to cover lesson 10-7. This is equations of circles. So, put my pen here. All right, so the equation of a circle is going to be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Like I think you make up these letters. No, I promise I don't. And if I did, I'd make it easier, but here we are. So it's x minus, so h and k, this is your center coordinates. H is just the x and k is the y. See, it's x comma y, but here it's h comma k. So your point from the center to the edge, as we already know, is the radius. That's the r. You see the x, y here. So in this equation, the x and the y are the coordinates for where it touches the outside of the circle. This x, this y. And you're subtracting the h, or the x coordinate in the center, from the y coordinate in the center, and it equals the radius squared. So that's where r comes from. So, and you'll see as we get into it, it's one thing to talk about, it's another thing to practice. So our examples are on the left, our practice is on the right. So let's get started. All right, so number one. All right, AB is the diameter of the circle. Write the equation of the circle. So AB, that's the diameter. So what is the radius in comparison to the diameter? Right. So diameter equals 1/2 the radius, So you use the distance formula, but anytime you have a vertical or horizontal or a vertical line, you can just count. And obvious. So this is -1, both y's. It goes from 0 to 8. Well, it should be 8, but let's count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the diameter is 8. All right, so radius is 1. The diameter is 2 times the radius, so the radius is 1/2 of the diameter. So in this case, it's 1/2 of 8. So our radius is 4. Gonna scoot this just a little, and we can still see this. So, and obviously the center of the diameter is going to be your center point. So if it's 8 long and 4 in the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's going to be +4, -1 is your center, which is h comma k. Excuse me. So this is 4 comma -1. All right, so now let's I'll do this in pencil. So our equation is parenthesis x minus h. So h is 4 in this case because it's the center, the x of the center. So -4 squared plus y. All right, so this would be minus k. Well, in this case, k is a negative number. So I'll go ahead and write minus because a minus is a positive. And it equals the radius squared. Well, what is 4 squared? 4 squared is 16. So this is your equation. So we put in the center point, which was +4, -1. And because it's x minus h, y minus k, if either of these numbers are negative, it turns into x plus. So in this case, because our y or our k was -1, so y minus k, or y minus -1, is the same as y plus 1. So just keep that in mind. When either of those coordinates are negative, this is going to be positive. If they're a positive number, it's just x minus h being 4. Okay, all right, over here, same thing, your diameter. You need the radius, so it's half the diameter, go in the middle, plot your point, that's your HK, and make your equation. If you have any questions, as always, send me a message on Focus or Teams, or if you are not at my school and you just came across this, you're welcome to leave me a comment, and I will gladly comment back or get in touch with you. Okay, example 2. Write the equation of a circle with the center -3, -5 that passes through point 0, 0. Of course, that's the origin. So if this was our graph paper, the middle is our center, and then we'd go over 3 and down 5. So it would be something like this. But anyway, so we have our H and our K. You need the distance formula to tell you the radius. So it's x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. And again, the distance formula is on the reference sheet. Of course, both of our x1 or x, let's make these our 2's. So it's going to be 0 minus 3, 0 minus 5. So we can cut a lot of our work out. So you have -3 squared plus -5 squared. Because again, 0 plus these, you're left with those. And when you square a negative number, -3 squared is 9, positive 9. And -5 squared is 25. Just in case you don't believe me, let's get the calculator. So 3 will make it negative. When we square it, it's 9, because that's 2 negatives. Negative times a negative equals a positive. All right, so our radius is the square root of 34. Well, let me show you something with this. The radius squared, since if you have the number inside the box, when you square it, it's just the number. It's 34. But to prove this mathematically, so 34 square root, so that's the square root of 34. That's our radius. Now we need radius squared, so we hit the square button. So hope you guys were watching. Excuse me. So now we have our H, we have our K, we have our R, so we can make our equation. Both of these numbers are negative, so this is going to be x plus y plus, because remember, a negative minus a negative makes positive. So x minus h, so x minus -3. See how? Hopefully you could see that I wrote that. Let me try to do this. All right, then y minus negative. See how I made it a plus, because that's what happens. 2 negatives make it positive. Squared, and then we're into this mess. Equals, so the radius squared is 34. Just to clear it up, so down here it's x plus 3 squared plus y plus 5 squared equals 34. So this is your answer. You're going to do the same thing over here, a little different, because in this case, the point it passes through, neither one of these are 0. So I'm going to help you set this up. So again, your center, so this is your H, this is your K. You're going to use the distance formula to find your radius, because from the center to here, that is the radius. And if it ends up being a square root like this, then the radius squared is the number inside the box. Make these your x1, y1. And over here is your x2, y2. See, here's your formula you use. So you get the distance, you got your h and k. So you should be able to get that one. Let's flip over. Last page of module 10. All right, so both of these are about completing the square. I can tell you that I asked my classes, and 2 out of 3 had no idea. The third class was like, yeah, we knew. So I throw this out here as if you don't know. We'll go over this. I'm going to just kind of circle some stuff here you need to do, and hopefully you can work this. I will tell you that completing the square should be a level 5 question on the EOC. So if you can do this, then that's great. We need you to do this. But so if you have questions, please let me know. Excuse me. All right, so example 3, the equation of a circle is x squared plus y squared plus 8x minus 14y plus 40 equals 0. Okay, so actually what our notes told us is it's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Now obviously this looks nothing like that, so we have to turn this into that. We're not going to do the domain and range. We're just going to focus on the equation. In fact, I'll graph it. It won't be very well because I don't have my compass here. But we will do the equation. All right. Yeah, state the coordinates of the center and measure the radius. We're going to get that. All right, so step 1 is you need to get like terms together. All right, like terms together. So x's and y's, the number is going to go over here. So the first thing, so we're going to take this, so x squared plus y squared plus 8x minus 14y. So we're moving 40 over here. So we're subtracting 40 from both sides. So it equals negative 40. Because the way we need to set this up. So we have x squared and x. We're going to put those together. And we have y squared and y. We're going to put those together. So I'm just going to rewrite this. That's step 1. Technically, step 1 was to move that number over, but I digress. So x squared plus 8x, put these together, plus y squared minus 14y equals negative 40. So all I did was just, we've moved stuff around. All right, so now step 2, and I'm not going to keep writing steps. Step 2 is to complete the square, we're going to take wait a minute, how is it again? Man, I've already forgotten this. We just did it last daggum week. Sorry, I'm behind on my videos. This is what happens when I don't do it the same day. Okay. Yeah, so step 2, we take the coefficient and then so divide it by 2 and square it. So what is the coefficient? The coefficient is the number beside the x and the y. So it's not this, but it's 8 and negative 14. All right, so, well, yeah, 8 and negative 14. Okay, divide them by 2. You have 4. Divided by 2, you have negative 7. Then square it. So square, you get 16. If we square that, you get 49. I know it was negative here. You'll use that in a minute. So we're going to add 16 to both sides of our equation. I knew that was the lid. So we're adding 16 over here with the x's. And we're adding 49 with the y's. So we're going to do that over here. So plus 16 plus 49. So that we'll put that number here. Let's just do this real quick. So clear out. All right, so we started with negative 40. as we move the 40 over up here. We've added 16, so plus 16, and we're adding 49. We end up with 25. That's a nice number. All right. So now over here, we're just going to bring these. So step 3, bring the equation down. So just bring it down. So x squared plus 8x, then the plus 16, y squared minus 14y plus 49. So now we have two trinomials that we can factor down. Remember, if it's x squared, x minus something squared, y minus something squared, this is the same as, hold on, let me write it and then I'll move my big hand out of the way. So this squared is the same as this times this. This squared is the same as this times this. So the numbers match up. So we did this because to get 16, well, let's just do this. Hold on, let me switch over. So this is what this is going to look like over here. The y's, and I'm going to run out of space because of the 25, but you guys understand it's equals 25. So to get x squared, you need x times x. To get 8, it's 4 plus 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Because everybody's plus, it's just plus 4 plus 4. So this guy comes down, x plus 4 squared. So now we're starting to look more like this. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. So see how half of it was 4. And then we used the 16 here because we needed that. And it also, half of it, that's how it works. It's something that added together makes the number, and multiplied together, you get the square. That's where you get this part. So over here, takes a y and a y to make y squared. 49 is 7 times 7. It would take a negative 7y and a negative 7y to make negative 14y. So that's why it's minus 7 minus 7. I know that looks smaller, so we're going to go down here. So x minus 7 squared equals 25. So here is that's your equation. Your center, so that's your h and your k. Because this is a plus, remember it's x minus h, so that would mean this is negative 4. Because x minus negative 4 is x plus 4. And this is y minus k, so k is just simply 7. And then what's the square root of 25? Well, if you don't know that off your head, it's okay. But just in case, so 25, remember, this is the square root. This is if you're squaring it. So we're taking the square root. It's 5. So the radius equals 5. All right, so quickly graphing, because this video is getting long. The center is negative 4, so negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, because we go left to right first, and negative is left. And then positive 7, because the y is up or down, and up is positive. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7. So this is 4, 7. Negative 4, 7, excuse me. That's our center. And our radius is 5, so you count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3. So we would actually be somewhere up here. So like I said, it's not going to be perfect. But 5 in any direction, because remember, all radii are congruent. Yeah, so it's going to look something like that. So, get you guys set up. So again, these are the steps. So step 1, put x and x, y and y, This is already over here, so you don't have to move it. You take half of your coefficient, so half of 10, and then square it, and then half of 6. So I'll help you with this. So you got 5 squared and 3 squared. So you're going to add 25 and you're going to add 9. So this is your, so did that part for you. So put your x's and y's together, add 25 to the x's. This is your y's. You're adding this to both sides, but this is going to be complete your square for your x's and your y's. And negative 18 plus 25 plus 9 is going to make a number that's going to be the radius squared. So take the square root of that for the radius. Hopefully you're listening, not just taking the notes. If so, you should get something out of this. If you have any questions, let me know. Those of you, and bonus points for anybody that in my class. So if you haven't taken the Module 10 test, and I'm doing this video on Wednesday. This is the night before we're doing SAT tomorrow. Try to be prepared to take this the test for 7 by Friday. Watch this video. I'm going to try to do a video on the study guide, but this will get you guys set up for that. Anyway, sorry to be long-winded. Please like the video, subscribe. It helps the channel. If you're not in my class and you are at First Coast, come say hey. Always glad to see you guys, and I can answer any questions. I do stay after for tutoring as well. So, till next time, have a good night.